What's going on, good people? I wanted to, I like to share, what I know and what you probably already know concerning, all things health, but just some things concerning intermittent fasting. Again, now I'm not just all about intermittent fasting, but I mean, intermittent fasting is one of to me, the cooler things about this health and fitness journey that, to me, it stands out. So intermittent fasting has a lot of cool things, as far as I'm concerned. Another cool thing, like in another video, I talked about a couple of different aspects of intermittent fasting, like the human growth hormone increase, the testosterone increase, the sirtuins, all of that good stuff. I wanted to also talk about now something else that I thought was pretty cool: autophagy. Now, autophagy. If you are an intermittent fasting, or if you are into health and fitness and diet, you probably know this stuff already. So, but for the few who right now, even now, may not know, intermittent fasting induces this thing. It's called autophagy, and what autophagy is it's pretty much when your body recycles old, unusable cells. It's kind of like it throws out the junk, or eats the junk, so to speak. Those old non-reusable cells are typically, they could be cancerous cells or just DNA junk that are just getting in the way. And when your body's in the midst of food deprivation, what that does is it starts to eat its own self. If that makes any sense. So when you don't have exogenous forms of energy coming in the form of food, i.e. glycogen, food, what the body does is it will start to eat itself, and it eats the least usable parts of itself first before it starts to do any real damage. So the damaged proteins, the junk proteins, the parts of your cells that are not functioning right or dysfunctional, your body eats away at those first. And that's a pretty cool thing, because autophagy is actually linked to anti-aging. When you get rid of the worst parts of yourself, you make room for the better parts of yourself to grow and develop and flourish. So autophagy takes place to a lesser degree even when you're not intermittent fasting. It's kind of what the body does in terms of self-preservation. However, when you fast or when you're working out, you induce autophagy to a greater degree. Now, depending on who you read about, like Dr. Jason Fung, I believe he stated autophagy takes place at around the 20-hour to 24-hour mark. But I've heard different things. But in any case, I just want to talk about what it does, because I think it's a pretty cool concept to clean out the junk in your body so that your body can function properly. It's kind of like your body does its own house cleaning. So it's been linked to anti-aging. It's been linked to life extension. So autophagy is a pretty cool deal. Now imagine if you are a person, the ordinary person that eats all day long. You're snacking. Autophagy takes place a lot of times. A lot of the restorative things take place when we're sleeping. So testosterone, fellas, goes up when you're asleep. Human growth hormone, ladies and fellas, goes up when you're sleeping. Autophagy also happens, right? Only thing is, when you wake up first thing in the morning and you eat something, you interrupt that process, that restorative process, because everybody thinks, you gotta have breakfast, most important meal of the day, which is actually not true at all. You don't need to eat first thing in the morning when you get up. That whole term, breakfast being the most important meal of the day, was actually coined by, oh my God, who was it? There were these two guys, I think it was John Williams, something or another, and John Kellogg. Harvey Kellogg. But in any case, they were way back in like 1800 something, and they were marketing their breakfast cereal. Okay, they coined the term breakfast is the most important meal of the day. There's actually no nutritional or scientific or otherwise backing to that claim. We just embrace it and think, oh my God, if I don't eat breakfast, I'm gonna malfunction. But that's not the case. So, it's a good idea for those who can do it to, I would try the intermittent fasting because it's so beneficial. If you can do it, I would give it a try for a little while and see how your body responds. So you have all these restorative hormones and processes going on in your body, when you're asleep, because what's the one thing that you're not doing when you're asleep? You're not eating. So imagine waking up, continuing to not eat, maybe have a cup of coffee, black coffee, and those restorative processes keep going and they keep going and they keep going throughout the day as you're fasting. Just imagine that. Now, what a lot of us do, we interrupt that process with breakfast. We'll have a bagel, we'll have some cereal, whatever it is, Even if we have some coffee, we'll have some cream, sugar, whatever junk that's in it that kind of destroys the benefits of drinking the coffee. There are some benefits to drinking black coffee. Now you interrupt that when you do all of that. And then to add to it, you eat 5-6 times a day, whether you're snacking or even if you're on a fitness kick, you may subscribe to the doctrine that you have to eat 5-6 meals a day in order to keep your metabolism going, which, in a technical sense is right because eating does have a thermal effect. However, it's only for the time that you're eating. It's not an ongoing process. At the point of eating, yes, your metabolism goes up for the specific purpose of digesting that meal. It's not something that your body sustains, right? So in the technical sense, yeah, that theory is right, but it's a theory. Now, you can actually increase metabolism also by fasting because your body is constantly throughout the day consuming a source of energy, which is your own body fat. So norepinephrine goes up. But anyway, I digress. I'm talking about autophagy. Autophagy, also one of the notable aspects of intermittent fasting. What that does, I'm repeating myself, but it does the house cleaning for you. And again, when you're eating all day, you're not enjoying any of these benefits. Your body is not getting, fine, you may not be hungry, but you may not be hungry because you're constantly feeding yourself. But keep in mind this, as you continue to put glycogen in to your body, and there are a lot of people that have a hard time losing weight. I'm in the gym with people, and I'm seeing them for months. They're on the treadmill or they're the elliptical doing whatever, and they're still the same size. How is that? You're on the treadmill. Maybe it's because you are constantly putting glycogen into your system. As long as your body has glycogen in it, it's not going to get to any of the body fat. It's not going to start the autophagy process. All those cool things that you would benefit from if you just took a break from eating for a portion of the day, right? So, I say that to say, it's worked for me. Maybe it may work for you guys. Just give it a try and see how you feel about it. I love it. I love the benefit I get from it. I love the way I feel. I love the clarity, the mental clarity that I get from it. It's, I love everything about it. My average fasting period daily is about 20 hours. I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that everybody should start there. I didn't start there. I started with a 16-hour window where I just skipped breakfast and started with lunch. That's kind of like the gateway method for intermittent fasting because a lot of us were glycogen dependent. You skip that first meal and it's like your body is screaming at you, where's my glycogen? Where's my glycogen? Because it hasn't learned yet that there is an internal food source, energy source that it can dig into. So until it learns that, it's going to start screaming at you, hey, give me food, give me food. And you don't enjoy those processes. So I just want to point that out. I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I thought it was a pretty cool concept and something to know, and you may benefit from it as well. But in any case, I'm Andre Williams at levelupfitness.com. That's fitness with 2 T's. There's a little story behind that. I'll get to that later. But yeah, levelupfitness.com, levelupfitness.com. And I'll talk to you later.